Hello, in this video I'm gonna show you the top tricks on the INFINIX Hot 50 Pro Plus. Okay, so we can begin. So let's go first straight into our settings. Now we need to scroll down a little bit until we find the special function. Okay, and in here below the intelligent facilities, we have options such as dynamic bar, floating windows, memory fusion, smart panel, game mode, smart hub, X-clone, and the kids mode. Okay, so we can go and begin with the dynamic bar. Okay, so as you can see, the dynamic bar is enabled, and below we have the apps that are working with the dynamic bar. So it is the face unlock, call, recorder, charging, animation, media player, SMS verification code, and the NFC. So also in here under my finger you have a little presentation how it looks like. So in here we have the call, in here the screen recording, in here the bar when the phone is charging, in here with the music, here the verification codes from the SMS, and in here the NFC card. So if you want, you can enable it right in here. And also if you don't want all of those apps included, you can simply enable them. You don't need to have them all enabled. Okay, below we have something called the floating windows. In here again you can see the animation, how it looks like. Okay, so floating windows are enabled. Below also we have swipe up with 3 fingers, turn a full screen app into a small window. Below also there's notifications in floating windows. As you can see, they are enabled. And below are the apps that are included. So for now it's Gmail, Instagram, and the messages. But also below, if you'll see under disabled, there are also other apps. If you want, you can enable it right in here. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you how the floating window works. So let's open some app, let it be the notes. Okay, and now to enter the floating windows, we need to simply hold on this button right here on the left. So let's hold, and now as you can see, the floating window is successfully enabled. So now we have this small little bar. If you click on it, you can still use it. No worries, you don't need to switch between the apps. If you hold it right in here, those 3 dots, you can move it around the screen. And if you drag from the edge, you can minimize it or maximize it. And also if you hold right in here, okay, my bad, sorry. And if you click on the X, the app vanishes. So let's get back again into the floating windows. And also below we have something called floating windows scenes settings. So when switching to other apps in the floating scenes, open them in floating windows. So you can enable the control center settings. And if you want, you can also enter sharing in floating windows. But I'll leave it on the disabled. And now let's go into other option, which is memory fusion. And in here, inbuilt 8 GB of RAM, additional virtual RAM added from internal storage to improve performance. So in here you can enable it. It will be enabled automatically, you don't need to worry. But if you choose to disable it, in here you can see that the activation of this function will take effect after phone restart. Deactivate and restart now. So I'll click on cancel, and below you can set the virtual RAM. Normally it is on the 3 GB, but you can also pick between the 5 GB and the 8. And in here please set the storage space to be converted. Modification will take effect after phone restart. So remember about it, so to restart your phone, otherwise it won't be working. Okay, now below we have the smart panel. Okay, swipe inward to activate Smart Panel and open apps in floating windows. So basically the Smart Panel is right in here. Under my finger you can see this thin little gray bar. And also below you can enable the vibration switch, but it's not necessary and it doesn't do much, so it is up to you. And below there are also scenario assistants such as video assistant, provide features like background playback and do not disturb when videos are played, so that is a cool option to enable it. And also below you can see the available apps for it. And normally YouTube, Visa Player and the Google TV are enabled, but if you scroll down and in here you can see other apps that you can include in this function. So it can be, for example, the calculator, the recorder, Turbo VPN, weather, parental controls, my health, and basically almost anything on the phone. Okay. Also below there is something called the social assistant, provides scenario-based features like video retouching during audio and video calls. So if you want, you can enable it. And also below there are more features. Okay, there's also something called the peek mode, read WhatsApp messages privately, but for now I don't have the WhatsApp installed, so I can't show you that. And there's also something called the sticker marker. It is available when chatting on WhatsApp, but unfortunately I don't have WhatsApp and I can't show you that. Okay, but I can show you this Smart Panel, so let's get back into that. So you can see this gray bar under my finger. To enter it, simply hold it and swipe from the right to the left. And in here we have some of the apps, such as Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, etc. You can see all of them right in here. But also if you want, you can click on edit and add more apps from this list right in here. So let's say I don't want the Chrome. No, I did something else. Okay, no worries. Let's say I don't want that app, but I want the recorder instead. So we simply click on recorder, now it's on this thin bar. Also, let's say I want Messenger. Okay, and now simply click on done. And now if you will click one of these apps right in this bar, it will open in the floating window. So that's what I'm gonna show you. So let it be the calculator. And now as you can see, it has been opened in the floating window. I still can count and do other stuff on my phone. I don't need to switch between those apps. As you can see, everything works properly. Okay, so again into the settings, special function. There's also something called the game mode. So the game mode provides a variety of assistant features for a better gaming experience. If you want, you can enable it right in here. And below you can see the supported games, but for now I don't have any games installed on my phone, so I can show you that. Okay. Also, I'm gonna show you the Folex, which is this phone's AI. So when other phones have the Gemini or the Google Assistant and the Apple have his Siri, in here we have something called the Folex. If you click on Get to Know Folex, you can click on Try it now. And here you can ask him basically anything. Okay, so also below you can select the Folex voice. In here you have the option Default Voice Assistant. It's now to set on Google, but if you click on Folex, it's now selected. So also below we have the options how to enable it. So wake up via power button. Press and hold the power button for 0.5 seconds to wake up Folex. I'm gonna show you that. So power button is right in here, so let's hold it. And now as you can see, the Folex has been enabled. Okay, and also wake up via home button. Press and hold home button to wake up the voice assistant. So the home button is right in here, this small circle. And now as you can see also the Folex has been enabled. Also, you can create the desktop shortcut. You simply click on add. And now, as you can see, the Folex is right in here. Okay, now if I'll go again into the Folex and into the Folex voice, you can also change the voice settings. And in here we have various types of languages, such as strawberry, mango, citrus, Junos, I don't know what's that, names, and I don't know, but below you can see how they sound. So the strawberry is with girl voice. As you can see, it's recommended, but there are also others such as smart and calm female voice, low key and calm male voice, and magnetic and wise male voice. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you how this Folex works. So let's say I don't want to type anything in the browser. I can simply ask the Folex to do it for me. So let it be that I want to know who was the first man on the moon, and I don't need to do this manually. I can simply ask the Folex. So let's do this. Who was the first man on the moon? Okay, as you can see, the Folex is thinking. Okay, it's still thinking. As you can see, it is pretty long answer. Okay, and we have our answer. As you can see, the first person to walk on the moon was Neil Armstrong, and there's also the date, the famous Apollo 11 mission, and other information right in here. Okay, so basically you can ask AI to search for anything. If you have something in mind, you can ask him a question and give him a task to do something. Okay, so that's all in this video. Thank you all for watching. If you find this video helpful, please leave a like, comment and subscribe.